Hello everyone, this is Sandy.
And this is Debbie.
We're from the Normal Paranormal Group.
And today
Continue with our
ghost stories.
Yes.
Yes, this is what happens when you grow up in a haunted house in Chicago. And I'm sure there's haunted houses in every city, in every suburb and urban areas. So
everybody's probably been in a haunted house and didn't even know they were in one.
that's true.
You never paid attention.
But we knew.
We knew.
We knew. So, today we're going to talk about things that levitate and move. Yes, in our house that there's so many stories to tell about this house. You really have a hard time thinking where to begin, but I think I told the story once before about my mother. I went to visit her after dropping the kids off at school, and she was sitting at the kitchen table. The bathroom door was open, and you could see the medicine cabinet and the bathroom sink from the kitchen. And so my mother said she had a headache, and she wanted to go get some aspirins. So she got up, and she went to the bathroom, opened the medicine cabinet. It was a mirror one, and she froze. And I'm looking at her, and so this bottle of aspirin started to levitate
of moving up and
like
slow motion, like on a string.
It looked like it was on a string. Yes, it did.
Yes.
So anyways, I'm watching this levitate in front of her, and she's still in the same position. She's not moving. And I'm wondering what the heck is going on here. And I stood up and says, Mom. And this aspirin's levitated across the sink to the right side, and it plopped into the toilet.
Like it just went, and someone just dropped it.
Dropped it in the toilet, and you heard the splash. Then my mother moves. She turns around, and she walks into the bathroom, and walks into the bathroom. She's already in the bathroom. She walks towards the toilet. I'm sorry, I got these distractions with our dogs.
Our dogs
today.
are both playing back and forth. So if you hear running and whining and barking, that's our
our little hellhounds today.
Yeah, hellhounds.
Yeah. So she bends down and she picks up the aspirin out of the toilet and puts it in the garbage. She looks at me and she goes, I guess I wasn't supposed to take these. And I think that was around the time of the that Tylenol thing that was going on. And so she threw it in the garbage, and I was frantic. It's like, oh my God, why didn't you move? This thing was right in front of you, Mom. It moved. And she just stood there like in a trance. And I was so excitable over this happening. But she's seen things her whole life.
Right, tell her about the time our youngest sister was in the function with our mother, our living room. People call it function room or living room, whatever you want to call it. That the cup lifted and turned over.
Yeah, they were sitting in the front room and they were watching TV, and they had a cup of coffee on the
coffee table.
Coffee table, and the cup full of coffee. It's full of coffee now, and it levitates up and turns around, and all the coffee splatters all over the end table. The coffee table. And so the thing lowers slowly and lands on the rim of the cup.
And our younger sister freaked out.
And yet my mother stood there, not even bothered by it.
Amazing.
Yeah, she said, oh, well, I guess it just wants me to clean up. she had this demeanor about her, and she just had this thing about the paranormal because she's seen it ever since she was a little girl. I think, like us, like our mother, you get desensitized to it.
Right.
It doesn't scare you.
It's like a part of life almost.
Yeah, it's part of your normal paranormal life. So, you just go on about doing whatever you do. And so Sandy would tell you about the ball and the jacket.
Oh yeah, I remember going over by my mom's house, and I go in the living room, and all of a sudden talking to my mom, and this ball starts flying down the stairs. Boom, 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 all the way down, and rolled all the way to my feet. I went, first thing I did is, because I had no fare, so I took the ball and I ran all the way upstairs, and I'm looking to see if somebody was up there. Nobody was there. The window's closed, it's locked. And I went, but I'm looking around, don't see nothing. And how this ball came down the stairs, nobody knows. No, she didn't have no cats or dogs upstairs. No, there was nothing up there to knock it down the stairs. And then we had the time where this guy Gene, one time he was living upstairs, and what was it?
Oh, she asked him if he would go to the store for her.
Right.
And he said he had to go up there for his jacket,
and all of a sudden the jacket flew down at him.
And he stands there in shock and says, Pat, look what just happened, Pat. And she goes, oh, it saved you a trip up the stairs.
Yes, we had another incident. It was young kids sitting in our living room, all of us in front of a TV watching a show, and out of the hallway someone started throwing crayons.
And
my dad said, who's throwing crayons? We're all looking at him. We're all sitting there, so it's none of us. So of course, we would joke and say, oh, green is for the Green Lantern, and white is for a ghost, and we would start saying things like that. So my dad got up to go look to see who's throwing crayons. And of course, we're all sitting on the floor, so it can't be none of us. And he gets up, and of course, Debbie and I are right behind him to see who's there. Nothing. Nobody was there. So,
and then there was a time I was in the attic. Sandy and I were dusting the bookcase, and she was dusting the dressers, and I'm kneeling down, and this plastic cup comes flying past my head, and I turn around, Sandy, did you just throw that cup at me? And she goes, what cup? And we both stood up and ran down the stairs. That was the norm
in our house.
We would just scatter when we had this feeling, or
especially upstairs when we had the feeling to get out of there. We always look at ourselves and we say, do you feel what I feel? And we both said yes.
At the same time.
At the same time, we need to get out of there.
Yeah.
Now, it also brings up another interesting story. My dad used to have all these war knives at the time. And,
that's right.
It was in a shield where you couldn't open it. You couldn't take them out. They were just
in there.
Right. He had it where you couldn't take them out. But it was like a trophy thing, and it was like you hang up on the wall, but there was like 5 knives or 6
five knives,
right? And they were during World War I. Two. So he had them in the plaque, and one night, Debbie and I both had the feeling the same thing, like, you feel what I feel?
Right. We were just about to go to bed,
right, that night. And all of a sudden, what happened, Debbie?
We slept downstairs.
Right.
And in the morning, we went upstairs to change our clothes, and we seen the knives out of the shield.
The sleeves.
The sleeves.
How did they get out? You couldn't even move those.
Right. We tried budging them. We couldn't budge them out. But they were laying on her bed and my bed. And we ran and got our mother. And Mom, look at, she goes, you had to take them out. No, we couldn't budge them. So we put them back in the sleeves, the shield casings, and we brought the whole thing downstairs and put it in the back of the closet. Okay, and oh my gosh, we had other things that moved and levitated through the house.
And not just that, we had record players upstairs that would start playing on their own.
That's right.
And that's another incident where Debbie and I went upstairs and we look at it, we turn it off and go back downstairs. It would start playing again. And then, of course, we went up there.
No, there was a 45 record player.
Yes, 45.
And back then, they had what they call a cradle that you would put the arm of the record player in. And it had this little lock switch you just push over the arm so it wouldn't flop if you picked it up.
Right.
Okay, because you could carry this little...
You locked it in it.
Yeah,
right. It was locked in.
And so, yeah, it started playing, and we turned it off. We put the little lock thing on there. And so at one time we just, okay, all right, this ain't right. And we unplugged it. We unplugged it.
Yes.
And we were in the kitchen because we went back down in the kitchen. I mean, we searched around the whole attic. We searched around all the rooms to make sure it wasn't one of our sisters playing a prank and that. We were the only ones home. And so we were in the kitchen, and all of a sudden we hear the record player going again. And this is impossible because this thing is unplugged. We both looked at each other, and we both ran out the front door. We refused to go back up in that attic at that point.
Right.
You know.
Well, with this, we're going to end this with these stories of levitations and things moving and things turning on. And hopefully you could share your stories with us in the group. They would love to hear that you're not the only one that went through it or gone through it. We all did somewhere along the line. Maybe you didn't pay attention to it, but it does happen.
Okay, and if you don't want to videotape yourself telling a story, why don't you write one? Post a story.
Post a story.
You know,
post a picture.
Yeah, post a picture. I mean, people are so surprised and how many other people have shared the same experience. And back then, you couldn't talk about this. You couldn't, you know, people would laugh at you or think you were crazy. You know, that was the times.
Well, with that, Debbie, I want to show you Debbie's shirt. It's our Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this.
I don't know, could you see it?
I don't know. Can you see it?
See, at our parties.
At our gathering, we say,
oh, I can't get
here,
it.
Debbie. No, let's get good. It says, bring your own booze. So here's a little spirit for those. Yep, have another type of encounter with different types of spirits. Different kind of spirits.
You know, it's funny, when I looked up in the phone book for spirits, this is what popped up. Spirits. And we looked at each other as, okay, because we were looking for spirit shops. And
right, we didn't know.
We didn't know that the booze was considered spirits.
So, until next time, enjoy our ghost stories and more to come.
More to come.
Pay attention to our videos. Ready, Debbie?
Yes.
Bye for now, everybody.
Full moon today.
That's
people.
right, full moon. So things are happening. Before we go, we have to say, we tried to set up and something kept on knocking all our stuff down, and I had to reset it like about 5 times before I could get our set up.
Yeah, we had a very hard time.
Right. And now we didn't have no spirits either. I mean, that type of spirits.
Maybe after this we should have.
I know.
Well, happy hauntings for the month of October.